Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a video on things that I would like to see added into the NHL video game. Things that not only that I want to see, but things that I try and voice my opinion on, die on a hill, as they say, in the Game Changer chat. So when I talk to developers, these are the things that I would love to see added into the game. Now, obviously, when you talk about Game Changers as a whole, so this is just an aside, obviously, all of the Game Changers have certain specialties, whether it be guys that are in there because of sixes, franchise mode, be a pro. We pretty much cover a wide spectrum, and obviously over the course of the last 3 years that I've been in the program for 2 years, I'm now skewed towards the hut side. I love playing sixes, but I'm not well versed in it, and me giving my opinions on sixes is just not really something that would be, advantageous. I talk about it a little bit when they ask questions, but I leave that to the guys that main sixes that want to improve the game, and they've done a really good job at helping improve 6v6 play. So mine a lot of them are going to be focused on things that I'm big on. So hut, esports, and 1v1. Those are the things that I really focus on. It's what I built my channel on, and these are the things that I am constantly talking to the developers about in terms of improving and things that I think could actually be done inside NHL in the next few seasons. So let's jump into it. First thing, though, we want to say is a special mention would be GM connected. Obviously, all Game Changers want to see GM connected. However, I'm in the belief that I don't know if the resources required would actually meet, the satisfaction of the community. Now, what I mean by that is that you have to remember, the last time GM Connected was in the game, it was a terrible mode. Like, it was actually brutal. Very few people could actually stand playing it because of how slow the menus were. Sometimes it would take a day to sim through the next season, and just the overall amount of dead leagues that actually happened. I played in a league with my buddies from my city, and I did like a Facebook group on it. We played a few seasons, and it was great. I was in the app, all that. I was all in. For the majority of players, they start a league with their buddies, and then 3 days later, it just dies out. And when you have a game mode like that that's going to require a ton of resources, you have to think that not really any other aspect of the game is going to have a lot of areas to be improved upon. So while I would love to see GM Connected in there, I'm a little skeptical if everyone that hates or everyone that dies for GM Connected to be into the game would actually play it throughout the duration of the year, because I just don't believe so. I think that for content creators and esports specifically, I think it'd be fantastic. And obviously the people that have run leagues and with their families and friends and all that kind of stuff, but I think that you'd find that a majority of the actual active leagues would die out considerably after the first month, and then what you're left with is a mode that, while a small portion of the community loves, isn't really touched. That's just what my personal opinions on it. I would obviously love to see it in the game. It's just not why it's in these 5 things that I, advocating for inside the Game Changer chat. So let's start with number 5. Number 5 is the ability to save lines in versus. Now, I've gotten a few different reasons as to why they haven't done and the resources that it's required to put in the game, because it seems like something so small. It's just saving lines. The reason is it's a roster issue. Now, because they don't have roster sharing and like that, they would have to allow you to play with custom rosters online, and obviously you see the problem with that, but they would make it so that maybe make it so that you can't move players around, but you could move the lines around, but then every time there's an update to a roster, you'd have to go in and do it again. At least that would be beneficial, and people would much rather have that than not have it at all. But I believe that's the issue on it. If they could fix that, that's just great for the small portion that still plays versus can regularly. It's brutal to have to save lines, and it's NHL 21 for God's sake. That one's kind of inexcusable that you can't do that anymore. So just something that, I would love to see. Number 4 is a BR mode in HUT. So what BR is in MLB Diamond Dynasty is you draft a team of various levels of overalls. So you get one max card, amazing card. It'd be an NHL at launch. It would be like a 90 Guy Lafleur or the 91 Mario Lemieux and Gretzky. You get one of those, and then you get a few high 80s, then a few mid 80s, then some silvers and low golds and things like that. The overalls remain the same. It's a draft, much like Draft Champs was. And then what you do is you play out a season of 12 games, and the amount of wins that you get before you lose twice, the higher the rewards are. So if you can get to 12-0, before losing twice, you would get a substantial card, whether it's a card that is plus 87 overall, because if at launch, let's say McDavid's 87 at launch, I don't know what he is, let's say you're guaranteed a card over that, means you're going to get a legend or something really cool, and that would be really beneficial. Also would really help out free-to-play players. I would love to see that mode added in. It would add a lot of variety to the game, and again, it would allow people that don't spend money on the game early or anytime to really build up a squad, because it's really fun to play. Number 3, I would love to see progression in HUD. It needs to be addressed, and I have a lot of faith that it will be. But what I mean by progression is, in no other game, whether in any other Ultimate Team, so Madden, MLB, will a 99 or a high impact player impact the game more than NHL. So, for example, right off the bat in the first, at the launch of the game, you could get a 99 Gary Sheffield in MLB, okay, which is just an unbelievable card to have at launch. You have to spend like $1,000, but there was people that got him. If you can't hit a curveball or lay off a changeup below the zone, it doesn't matter if you have a 99 overall. In NHL, if you were to get a 99 overall card immediately, anytime that you get a short side wrister and fire it upstairs, that's going in. You can just flick up, and it obviously gives a big issue as the game progresses in what we call 99 HUT. If you play HUT now, that is not anywhere what the game was intended to be played. Like, it just isn't. And it needs to be addressed, especially given how much esports and the GWC specifically has gone to HUT, which I think was the right move. I think that the way that it progresses, though, really impacts gameplay, because that's not how you play the game. It increases the odds of a lucky win, and not the best player winning. So that needs to be addressed. And a couple of things that we've talked about specifically with my buddy Kesso, who's another game changer. I had a video about it earlier. He went into great detail about fixing progression in HUT. Some things that we talked about where, let's say you take a stat like speed. You start at the top. McDavid is the fastest skater in the world, and if his base card comes out at 93 overall or 92 even, okay, he can only go up +7. So how is it fair that he can hit? Let's say he hits 99 speed in December because of informs and team of the weeks and things like that. Once he hits 99, he is now at a disadvantage because every other card below him now gets to increase because his card can't go any higher than 99. So one of the suggested items way to fix this would be, let's say McDavid can only go up +7 in terms of speed. No other card can go up +7 from their base. I'm talking about live series cards, so things like the base cards, all that kind of stuff, not like the master set guys, the cards that come out. But so Crosby, he can't have his speed go up by more than 7 because McDavid can. So it keeps that kind of even keel, and it makes the fast players and strong players and guys that have really good shots at the top. Ovechkin, if he has the hardest or the best shot in the game, let him have the best shot in the game all the way through. Now, obviously, other cards will come out. You'd have to make adjustments there, but it needs to be fixed because it's just super frustrating that as the game goes on that, I can't do, I would hate to see another year of Zdeno Chara and Ogres that come out that are, taking up spots over Drew Doughty. It's a terrible example because I hate Drew Doughty, but Erik Karlsson, there's no reason to have Erik Karlsson when you have, big Zdeno Charas and things like that, or Oliver Meebuses come out. Like, there's just no reason for it, and that kind of sucks the fun out of it. So I need to see progression fixed. It's extremely important. Number 2, what I want to see fixed in HUT, I would love to see a salary cap mode for HUT champs. So what that means is all those guys that spend thousands of dollars for the most competitive mode, while you should be able to go in and, use that team, I totally understand it. It should be a salary cap system because it is the most competitive mode, okay? I want to see the ones that deserve it, and the guys that are the best at the game consistently get it. And as on a side note, as a salary cap mode, what needs to be fixed is the dodging and whatnot. It's just been brutal this year. They need to figure out how to make it so that you can't dodge people to get and try and groove HUT champs runs, because it's just terrible. And then rewards in general, rewards need to be of value. One thing that I suggested earlier on was, let's say for the first 6 weeks, is a rotating 6 weeks, the 6 cards that you can earn by winning HUT champs are already there. So one for each position. So if you win a HUT champs, let's say you can't win the week that Tyler Myers' HUT champs card is out. Obviously that's a fantastic card just off the top of my head. 3 weeks down the line you do, you should be able to choose him. Okay, you have the same, odds. So, and then every 6 weeks, then it rotates, and again, 6 new positions open up, and that would be my suggestion on how to fix Hut Champs rewards specifically. And the last one, number one, the thing that I need to see, I would love to see, and things that I advocate the most for, and that's cooperation from EA Sports, the NHL video game specifically, and its esports scene. It is mind-boggling to me how I've been involved in almost every single esports event from team-based to GWC, all over the place over the last year, and how it's just a major disconnect, and there's little promotion and zero integration between team-based events and the video game. I would love to see it either promoted in the banner so that you get more people to sign up. I would love to see it promoted on Twitter. I'm not sure the legalities behind it, but I would love to see some sort of promotion of esports so that people that are good at the game but have no idea and don't use Twitter can actually improve and grow the game. That's why I think that HUD was such a good way to go in terms of the GWC, because everyone plays HUD. They did it in the game, and it exploded in terms of like signups and things like that. So that is why. But I would love to see it. It blows me away how many executives I talk to that either don't get a promotion from EA, but even as a whole, there's no cooperation from the NHL and the team-based events. So what ends up happening is you have team-based events that are like, okay, I guess we'll have our event this day, but there's no structure or anything like that. There's no league, and then other teams do it. I'll give you an example. A perfect example is this year in January, the Minnesota Wild and Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning all held events on the same weekend. And what ended up happening was the same 3 of the 4 people that won a trip to go to the LAN in Minnesota also qualified for Montreal, meaning they went to Montreal, as did I. Went to the Montreal event on Friday night. They had a big weekend planned for the people that made the LAN, to go to a Canadiens game, but they couldn't because they had to hop on a flight the very next day to go to Minnesota to play in that LAN. Meanwhile, on that Saturday, Tampa Bay ran their qualifiers for that event. It's just like, if you spread it out, if there's a league structure, esports grows so much, and it's something that I'm a huge advocate for. Obviously, a big part of my career is esports. So, obviously I would love to see that, just a structured format, some promotion from EA, and I think that would be in business, and something that I think should be pretty simple to do, but, we'll have to wait and see. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And again, obviously there are other issues, gameplay issues, things like that. These are just the things that I personally am pretty big on, and obviously there's other things that I love to see, server selection in HUT, things like that I would love to see. But these are just the 5 things that I think can be implemented pretty easily, and I would love to see happen soon. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and please subscribe, guys. Daily NHL content, the new games coming out. If you want info immediately on everything new, tips, HUT cards, franchise mode, be a pro, all that's coming to my channel, as well as golf and MLB. Thank you guys for watching, though, and I will see you next time.